One got knocked down, he won't get up again. The other went knocked him down. One got knocked down, and now he's fucking dead. The other went knocked him out. Combo Breaker!
Random Toon Force reality warping bullshit. You know, those characters, those comic book heroes and cartoon characters like Deadpool or any of the Looney Tunes, who can pretty much do whatever the hell they want. Well, today I'm playing two of the best examples of these in a fight to the death. That's right, it's a battle between the Tick and the Mask. Alright, let's start off with the Tick. The Tick is a superhero who underwent the tryouts of the National Superhero Institute in Reno, Nevada, where any superheroes who passed were assigned some of the cities to defend. Well, the Tick was assigned the best city, and then he befriended his soon-to-be sidekick, Arthur. But you know what? His story's not really important. Everybody kind of just knows him for that one TV show that starred Kronk. That's actually not his real name, but that's besides the point. So let's go ahead and move on to his powers. The Tick has superhuman stats and is nigh invulnerable. He can also breathe in space, and he is super resistant to electricity and heat. So with a basic power set out of the way, let's go ahead and look at his feats. The Tick can scale to Proto-Clown, who has the strength to launch the Tick into orbit and back, and with the re-entry force that he had, he's able to knock Proto-Clown out with just the fall. The Tick was fast enough to jump onto soaring airplanes with incredible ease, and even jump onto buildings with ease as they're collapsing. The Tick is tough enough to survive a bomb blast point blank with enough force to level the moon, and he's durable enough to survive a punch from Proto-Clown, who punched him into orbit, and he fell back to Earth and was in perfect condition afterwards. The Tick has high stamina thanks to his nigh invulnerability, and, you know, the Tick isn't incredibly smart. Here's the thing, Arthur does all the planning for his fights with him, so without Arthur, Tick's pretty much an overgrown child with superhuman abilities. Now, despite the Tick's insane powers, he's nowhere near invincible and has a huge weakness. If the antennas at the top of his suit are cut off, he loses all balance. Alright, let's see if the Mask can stack up to the Tick. The Mask is, well, a green mask that once put on, makes the user mentally insane and alters their appearance, but also gives them a unique set of powers. So on to weapons and powers then. The Mask can alter reality and change anything to his whim, except for the weapons he summons for some reason. He has superhuman stats, he can even use Toon Force, and he can teleport and fly. Now, the Mask can obtain any weapon he wants using Ex Nihilo. This includes, but is not limited to, shotguns, bazookas, swords, baseball bats, laser guns, miniguns, machine guns, and so much more. So on to the Mask's feats. The Mask is able to fight DC's Lobo, which pretty much is like Deadpool if he was even crazier, more violent, and could fight characters like Superman. The Mask can move so fast he actually occupies multiple spaces at once. He can dodge bullets, blitz a room full of armed enemies, and dodge point-blank gunshots as well. The Mask is pretty much invulnerable to all damage unless you remove the Mask, and then, you know, it's ridiculous. He can also fight for ridiculous amounts of time thanks to his pretty much infinite stamina. The Mask is also kind of a Joker in the fact that he's kind of like the Joker in the fact that he's a genius but also mentally insane, but this plays into his favor a lot of the time, similar to the Joker. Now, the Mask's only true weakness is if the Mask is removed from him. So the most common way to do this is to trick him into doing it himself. But that's the only way you're going to be able to kill him is by removing the Mask. Alright, so our fighters are set. Let's see if the Tick will be squashed, or if the Mask will be left smoking. The Tick is beating up some crooks when the Mask walks up behind him with a shotgun and shoots him in the back of the head. The Mask turns around and starts to walk away as the Tick stands up and runs towards the Mask. The Tick punches the Mask, sending him flying out into an alley where a semi-truck hits him, sending him flying into the top story of a large building. The Tick jumps in after him. The Mask pulls out a machine gun and starts shooting at the Tick, who walks through the bullets and kicks the Mask. The Mask pulls out a baseball bat and smashes it across the Tick's face, breaking the bat in half. The Tick turns his head back as he's met with a sucker punch immediately from the Mask. The Tick bends over in pain as the Mask starts burning him with a flamethrower. The Tick picks up the Mask and throws him to the ground. The Tick goes for an elbow drop, but the Mask quickly dodges and hits him with a large hammer, sending him through all 40 stories until he hits the ground. The Mask drops multiple grenades down the hole and the explosion causes the building to collapse. The Mask stands up out of the rubble unharmed after a second. He begins to walk away as the Tick climbs out of the rubble and punches him in the back of the head. He then grabs him by the legs and spins him, throwing him into the tree. The Mask gets up from the collision with the tree and pulls out a chainsaw and swings at the Tick, who quickly dodges, but the saw ends up cutting off his antennas. The Tick falls to the ground as the Mask pulls out a large rocket launcher and fires a point-blank shot, blowing up all of North and South America, leaving a large crater and a pile of ash and blue spandex. The Mask starts swimming towards Russia as he laughs. Winner is The Mask, and this match would have been a tie had I not went back and double-checked the research. So before I get into that, I'll go ahead and compare the rest of the stats. So The Mask is at a galaxy level as he was able to fight Lobo, the guy who can beat Superman. So pretty much he's able to keep up with most heavy hitters in the DC universe, whereas the Tick is only about country level due to some scaling to Proto Clown. The Mask is also supersonic as he can dodge point-blank bullets and occupy multiple spaces at once, whereas the Tick really only has his subsonic feats of jumping on moving planes. Now, durability is what decides this match, and this is actually where I realized something that gave the Mask the win. The Mask is 100% invincible unless he removes the mask, whereas the Tick is nigh invulnerable, meaning he can be killed. It's just a really difficult thing to do and requires a lot of specific things. And since the only way you can really get the Mask to remove his mask is either to take it off yourself, which the Tick wouldn't know how to do that, or to trick him into doing it himself, which he's not smart enough to do that without the help of Arthur, who's not allowed in this fight. So basically, the Tick has no way of finally putting down the Mask. Plus, intelligence is a huge edge for the Mask, as he's pretty much a super genius and the Tick is an overgrown child. Now, another thing that guarantees the Mask his win, kind of just a cherry on top of it, is the fact that while their Toon Forces will cancel each other out as they pretty much would just do the same thing, the Mask still has reality warping, and that's another thing that can pretty much guarantee his win. So it looks like the Tick was nothing more than a pest for the Mask. Next time on Combo Breaker, Stitch versus Invader Zim.